Suppose you were discussing Bitcoin with a friend, and he or she asked you, what does the word value mean when you talk about the value of Bitcoin? Value might mean the price you would have to pay for one Bitcoin. Indeed, it seems natural to think that rising price means rising value. However, a large number of people would agree with you if you said that there is more to value than price. If I asked you to tell me some of the ways in which value is more than price, how many different ways could you describe? Why is that an important question? In 2017, there are close to 1,000 cryptocurrencies, and a wave of initial coin offerings, ICOs, that present traders and investors with a bewildering variety of choices. The leaders of the ICOs would like you to buy their tokens, and most of them promise to use the funding to develop or improve a particular product or service. The net result of all these coins and requests for funding based only on promises is a higher prevalence of the risk of serious financial losses arising from investments made in cryptocurrencies. In the light of this greater exposure to risks of serious loss, it is perhaps a good idea to carefully examine the justification for buying or keeping cryptocurrencies. At the heart of this justification lies the matter of the value of a currency. And so, your examination of the different dimensions of value could contribute to protecting your capital. Did you know that there are as many as 11 different approaches to the meaning of value when we are speaking about valuing some cryptocurrencies? When you are deciding whether to take or leave a position in a specific cryptocurrency, you might want to rate these approaches to valuation, such as most important, next most important, least important, etc. Then you might move towards the investment decision with some combination of these alternative approaches in mind. Even if you know all 11 concepts of valuation, your memory might be a little rusty on key aspects of some of them. In this case, the commentary and the article whose link you see below might be helpful refreshers. Also, the discussion will give you some suggestions about things you can do in applying some of the approaches to valuation. Which of the 11 alternative approaches to valuation would concern you the most if you were thinking about buying a cryptocurrency? With my investor's hat on, I probably would ask myself whether I will find buyers who will be anxious to pay me much more than I paid buying the currency. The more you feel that you will make a profit from your purchase, the stronger will be your perception of a sort of psychic utility from holding on to the coin for a certain amount of time. Let us call that utility the perceived opportunity to gain the hoped-for profit. These thoughts are aspects of the speculative valuation. So often does this speculative valuation become an emotional force that distorts clear thinking as future events unfold. Your confidence in eventually getting that profit will be greater when you look at other dimensions of valuation that are important to you, and you see good reasons to rate the coin highly on other dimensions. Let's look at some of them. Number 1, exchange value. We've already spoken about this one. It's the market price, so let's pass on to Number 2, usage value. Examples are helpful here. Some coins facilitate payments between parties who live very far apart, like on different continents, even if they don't have bank accounts. To run programs on the Ethereum platform, you need to use the cryptocurrency named Ether. As another example, you need to use SIA and storage cryptocurrencies, that's SIA and STORJ, to gain access to their blockchain-based decentralized cloud storage services. Let's pass on to network value, about which there's a lot of talk in the crypto sphere. This term has to do with social support, but in a very broad sense of the word social. Look at the diagram on your screen. The headings on the screen point to different classes of social supporters, and together they help to build and strengthen the company's social capital. Think of these groups as comprising, when taken together, the company's social support network. A notable point about this diagram is that the persons who are contributing from several of the classes are doing so as representatives of organizations. Thus, important segments of the social support are institutional in nature. These rather fuzzy concepts of social network and social support are of critical importance if a cryptographic token is to be accepted as some kind of currency. As is well known, to serve as a currency, people must be willing to accept the token in the belief that when they use it to purchase other items, it will be accepted. That belief is entirely subjective and is very dependent upon the social support network. Let us move on to items 5, 6, and 7 among the approaches to valuing a cryptocurrency. By now, you will have noted that there are significant overlaps among various pairs of the 11 approaches to valuation. Also, in some cases, positive valuation along a particular dimension tends to push up valuation along a related dimension. For example, strong network support promotes a higher market price. Item number 5 on the screen provides another example. When a coin has the potential to become a token for earned service credits, that function increases the usage value of the coin. Usage value was number 2 on the list of approaches to valuation. The concept of earned service credit merits a brief clarification. However, the clarification will make the video too long, and thus I must ask you to examine the article whose link is given below. Here are the last 4 of the 11 approaches to evaluating a cryptocurrency. Except for item 8, these are all very widely known and frequently discussed. Item 8, lifetime value and fair value, come from the academic discipline of finance. They point to procedures used to assign a monetary long-term value to a company, and then a so-called fair value per unit for units that represent part ownership in the company. For example, in the case of the stock market, we would be speaking about the fair value per share of stock. Other units might include a cryptocurrency issued by the company, which then proceeds to promote the existence of a market in which that currency is traded for other currencies. Item 9 on your screen, governance, has come up frequently in activities such as debates over the scaling of blocks in the Bitcoin blockchain, or in issues concerning the amount of centralization or control over affairs that are integral to the long-term viability of a currency. Okay, what are the main takeaways from the foregoing discussion? First, it is a good idea to examine the variety and quality of the evidence that supports your hope of gaining a profit from buying a cryptocurrency. Remember that this hope represents only the speculative valuation. Second, decide what is the relative importance of the different valuation dimensions in terms of your priorities. Third, make plans to keep track of company performance or network support for a coin, including government regulations that affect the coin, in the hope of remaining alert to the arrival of new reasons to change your assumptions about the company or the coin. Thank you for your kind attention. Please see below a link to the article that provides more details. I hope this has been helpful.